So I'm going to come in here and add a form field along this name field here. So I'll just click and drag. It's a basic rectangle frame tool, so F on the keyboard. I'm going to make sure it's up to size, so 160 by 6. Because I want to make sure that this sits nicely over the frame that already exists. That looks good. And this, using the buttons and forms panel, and you can find this under Window Interactive buttons and forms. I'm going to give this text field option. I will name it name field. And I don't want it scrollable, I don't want it multi-line, but you may want those options on larger text boxes. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe give it another font. I'll make that regular. Yeah. Great. Now, that's the form field. I can see that I've got a form, interactive form field here because of the red box, which is achieved by going onto a new layer, the second layer. The layer's red. So that works for me. That's great. Let's go ahead and add the date. This is slightly different because there's a trick here that I found after many hours of pulling my hair out. And that is, it matters about the X coordinate that you set up your boxes on. So I'm going to go ahead and add a 6x6 box here. And I will give this a text field. I'll call it date 1. Sans reg. Okay, so that's the text first. So now I'm going to copy and paste this across the rest of these 8. So I'll just go copy, paste in place. I'll apply that over there. And this will be given a new number as well. Yeah, it takes this into consideration because they all need to be different, they need to be unique. And it will renumber them appropriately. So paste in place. And the final one. Cool. Now, I want to bring your attention up to here. 98.25 is the Y coordinate of these boxes. I can go on any one. 98.25. 98.25. And in the hierarchical list, you would think, now it goes from bottom to top, how InDesign reads these boxes, you would think that, you know, date 1, date 2, date 3, date 4, the order that they're in here will be the order that InDesign reads them when exporting for an interactive form. That's not always the case. And that bothers me. I mean, that would bother anyone if you're making a date comb and, you know, the date was jumping to the year and then to the month and to the day again, and it's a mess. So what I found is, if we go ahead and select the last 7 boxes, and you start counting up from 1, so you add an extra digit to the end of the Y coordinate here. So we go 1, drop a box, 2, drop a box, 3, and we keep doing this. And you actually only need to do this once in a document, because once you've done it once, you can copy and paste it for the rest of your date grids. So there we go. They've all got an individual number, but the key thing is here is to the human eye, we can't see. It's a thousandths of a millimetre that we've moved it. So it really doesn't matter about adding that slight adjustment to the Y coordinate. But now what we'll have is a properly kind of, if we enlarged it, it would look like a staircase. I'm going to go ahead and show you another type of input box using this yes, no form section here. And believe it or not, it's going to be a checkbox depending on a yes or a no. So all I'll do is I'm going to create another box, and I'm just going to go over that one there. And the type will be checkbox. No. And then I'll put the appearance. This is how it is as default. So the appearance needs to be normal, off. The rest of the options you can keep as is. So I'll copy. I'll paste that. Drag that one down into place. Just make sure they're lined up a bit better than that. Now this one shall be called yes. That one is no. Great. Now we've got checkboxes. So they have individual names. They need to be unique, because otherwise, if they were both called checkbox 1 and you go ahead and check one of the boxes, they'll both be checked. This is the same for text actually. So if these boxes were all called date and you put a number in the first box, the rest of the boxes will take that number as well, because they don't have unique names. So this is where we start to build an interactive form with all these different boxes, selections, field text, and things like that. And you can apply these to whatever you need. You know, there's also, let's just go down the list. There's also other types. You've got your buttons, checkboxes, combo box, list box, radio button, signature field, and text fields. So I use 4 of these a lot of the time: checkboxes, radio buttons, signature fields, and text fields. Radio buttons is for when you want only one option selected from a multiple choice range. Checkboxes when you would like multiple options checked in a multiple choice range. A signature field, that's when someone can apply their signature to a document, and a text field is when someone can input text, alphanumerics, and things like that. And that's interactive elements.